everyone, it's day 2 of CES. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield.
I'm Kate Walton-Elliott.
And joining us,
Alex from E4Electric.
Alex, it's great to see you.
I know,
we haven't actually met each other in person.
Yeah,
today.
absolutely. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
On Facebook quite a bit. Fantastic channel.
Thank you.
Started off with Tesla and then you've kind of gone mainstream, which is kind of the opposite to a lot of other channels.
I like going the opposite direction.
And you do live streams rather than...
Yes, every day.
So I teased you because when you first started, you were doing the sign off.
I did, doing that.
And I
we
was
realized
just like,
we're the same thing. There. Yeah, absolutely,
so we're here at the Toyota presser. We had a very interesting event. The CEO of Toyota with us, Mr. Toyota. It was a one-man show.
It was
which, again,
entirely a one-man show.
About.
Yeah.
Last year, Toyota's CES presentation had lots of different people focused very much on the TRI, the Toyota Research Institute, and all of the things that they're going to be working on in terms of autonomy, in terms of electric vehicles. This time round, it was kind of a, we've done the research, here's what we're going to show.
Yeah.
Now, what we saw is the e-Pallette, which is behind us. Do you like it? Yes? No?
Listen, we just came from Byton unveiling, right? We have so many amazing cars unveiled previous year and going to be unveiled in the next couple of days. I mean, this is really the disappointment that I expect from Toyota nowadays, you know? I mean, this is gimmicks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This is something that I would expect from pretty much any company that wants to be on electric car market, and that just doesn't have that much resources or really ability or willingness to get into this.
Right.
Yeah.
And what we saw here today was a definitely concept.
Very
but
much
this is
so.
a concept with an end goal. Toyota, for those who don't know, is sponsoring the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. We're going to see hydrogen fuel cell cars, we're going to see electric vehicles, we're going to see personal ride-sharing programs, self-driving cars, and the e-Pallette, which is being sold as a kind of a catch-all box on wheels.
It is. It's a shop on wheels or a clinic on wheels, but it's a box.
It's a food truck.
It's a food truck, it's an electric food truck.
Or a shop, it's a couple of different options. We had like a mobile reseller, so if you order something online, it will come and deliver it to you. If, for example, it's clothing and you're not sure which size, it will come to you, you can try on and then use the one you want. There's 2 axles at the rear, 2 axles at the front, and it reminds me, have you seen iRobot?
Yes.
Do you know the thing in the tunnel where Will Smith's in the tunnel?
Yes.
And he's driving the Audi manually, and the robots are jumping out. That's what it is, isn't it?
That is what it is.
It's not new.
No.
It's iRobot.
Well, it just only goes to the whole thing where Toyota stopped innovating a while back, right?
Or did it? You see, this is the question. So Toyota is very clearly anti-lithium ion, right? We don't like lithium ion batteries.
Very clear.
Toyota. But Toyota says it has a solid-state battery tech.
Yeah.
Very light on details. But do we think it's right behind, ready to be unveiled?
Well, obviously, it's not.
No.
Because he didn't even mention that at all, right? So if it was even this close, he would at least tell us.
He mentioned it. He touched upon its existence.
The thing that I'm getting at, though, is Toyota is a much more established car company than, say, Byton or Tesla. Tesla announces stuff because it's a great way for Tesla to get extra money, to keep the investors happy, to keep all that money flowing and make sure that they can make it to market. Toyota doesn't need to prove to anybody that the next thing it's going to produce is going to be fantastic. It just needs to unveil it and go, by the way, this is a new car, you can buy it next year. It's a very different world. So Toyota is operating out of startup world. Tesla is working its way out of startup world right now, but it's still needing to use a lot of startup techniques to encourage people to stay and to use and to buy the cars and to invest. And that's what I think with Toyota. I think there's a lot going on that we don't see.
See, I actually think that absolutely the opposite. I think people expect the innovation and something really cool from startups like Tesla and Byton, right? They expect very little from the old school companies like Toyota, and they kind of know it, and they know they don't really have to be on front. They'll let Tesla and Byton test it out, and once they figure out what works, what doesn't, they'll jump in, and then they will just get their market share as usual. Though I think they're mistaken. I think it won't be as usual.
Right.
I think actually they're going to be losing the market share and not gaining it back. So I actually think that people will not only they don't expect much from this old school car manufacturers, but they also going to be consistently going away from them and saying, yeah, that's old school. I mean, this is like Cadillac. I want something new, right? So I think it could actually be the other way around. For example, Nissan Leaf, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they had first real electric car to the market, right? And they had the new Nissan Leaf i-Value. You were there, right? And look, I mean, it's not like the reservation count is equal to Model 3, right?
Yeah.
Model 3 is by far has a much longer reservation list, more hype and everything. So that's proof that a giant like Nissan wasn't able to catch up.
But hype only accounts for a part of the market.
This is true.
So, I know people who will only buy a Toyota. I know people who will only buy a BMW. And I think Toyota is going to benefit from that. Interestingly, though, what we did see from this presentation, and I think it's really important, is that we're seeing a pivot from just a car company. And even it was hinted at the beginning, Toyota was not a car company to begin with.
Yeah.
And Toyota is hinting we're not going to be a car company anymore. We're going to be a mobility company, which is kind of the buzzword.
It is very
Automakers have been buzzing it around for the last couple of years, and we're starting to see that shift now towards autonomy, towards mobile services. And these big names who've signed up, Alex, right? I mean, Kate,
there was Amazon, there was
Amazon,
Pizza Hut,
Mazda. Other companies. Well, Mazda is in a partnership with Toyota.
Yeah.
So we've got all these other things going on. Do we think that these companies are going to help Toyota? I mean, Toyota must have got something to convince them. I suppose that's what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean, besides playing golf together, probably, right? Like, so let's be honest here, right? Also, announcing partnerships don't always mean that they're actually going to go ahead with it, right?
Right.
There's a lot of tweaks that need to be done here.
Yeah.
And partnership could be, we'll sell our Amazon products in 3 of these at one event, right?
Right.
That could be as well. No, of course. Listen, I don't want to say that it's nothing. Yes, having other big companies be in partnership. Amazon is a very recognizable name. I'm a huge customer, really, and so it does help. But it all comes down, I think, to the product.
Okay.
Right? And you're right. There are people like my dad. He will always buy Toyota.
Right.
Like, he literally still has this, and he will always buy Toyota. But, I mean, we're talking about people who can actually change their minds right now, and I don't think they're winning too many of them right now.
Toyota said, we've got all these electrified vehicles. Still seeing that word. Still hearing that word. Electrified. He said in the presentation, which is groundbreaking for Toyota, we believe that electric vehicles are the future. That's basically what we heard.
Yeah.
That is fundamentally awesome.
Yes.
So we're going to see a shift from hydrogen fuel cell. This is my prediction. A shift from hydrogen fuel cell. Solid state battery tech will come in. Hydrogen fuel cell will end. Solid state is where Toyota is going. It will not do lithium. It just won't. It's going to refuse.
Really?
Oh. And I think it's going to be 2020, solid state, autonomous, and I think that's dangerous for Tesla. I think it's dangerous for some other companies.
I agree with you on everything.
Yeah.
As long as it's by 2020, right?
Well,
if it's
2020.
2020, let's say it's 2022, then they're a bit late. But
this is the difference.
Then I would agree with you.
Toyota can throw 2 billion at a problem, 5 billion at a problem, and not even notice on the balance sheet. Yeah. Toyota needs money. It can bring it in from other. I mean, effectively, let's be frank. Toyota is funding its future by selling gas guzzling SUVs and pickup trucks.
It is.
And you have to decide in your head whether that's okay or not.
Totally agree. The only I think other little nuance is that talent, right? You kind of need talent, and I think companies are a little bit more ahead of Toyota. Again, Tesla and Chevy and Nissan kind of already got those people, and it's hard to bring them back.
The TRI team is pretty impressive.
It is pretty good.
I think TRI is it's really come on in leaps and bounds this year. And of course, all this stuff happens behind closed doors. We don't get to see it, and I think that's the thing to take away from this.
They don't get to share.
We're seeing mixed messages. Some potential promise, but message from Alex is, come on, guys, we want more electric. That's essentially what you're saying.
Yeah,
right?
and, in my context, right, in my world, this is what I see, right? But as far as what you're saying, as far as the bigger picture, maybe mobility and so forth, and the fact that Toyota can really make a leap really quick, I would agree with you, actually. Again, as long as it's 2020, in that context, I would agree with you.
We have to do more call-outs. This is
I love
Alex.
this.
Thank you very much.
It's great to know.
So we're going to be around for the rest of the week. You're going to be around for the rest of the week.
Absolutely.
Sub for your channel is
E4Electric. So it's youtube.com/E4Electric.
So
I watch you
there we
guys
go.
every week.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a fan.
Yay.
So we will catch up later, guys. See you later.
See you later.
So what we're standing in front of, as the name suggests, is the Hyundai Nexo, which is the next generation fuel cell vehicle from Hyundai. What is this car? Well, it is what Hyundai says it will be bringing to market as a replacement for the iX35 FCV or
Tucson FCV.
Now, interestingly, it said that vehicle is being sold in 18 countries around the world. I would dispute that the word sold.
Yeah, it's an interesting definition of
It's technically a compliance car in California. I think you can buy it in a couple of East Coast states. You can buy it though. It's not just a leased vehicle.
No.
You can buy it, but you have to do other things as well if you want to keep hold of the car. Obviously, fueling is still a problem. We started the press conference talking about the Ioniq, which is a car that went on sale year before last, and it has an electric variant, a plug-in hybrid variant, and a hybrid variant.
Yes.
And Hyundai was saying how amazing that car was. You know, it transformed. It was the first platform designed specifically for a green
multiple
vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah. No hydrogen. You know why, right?
No, I don't actually know why there's no hydrogen.
I don't think you'd fit a hydrogen fuel cell car.
Oh, I suppose no.
Drivetrain in that vehicle.
Yeah,
so
the tanks.
This is a bigger car. So overall, this system is 60% efficient, which is a very big improvement on previous generation fuel cell technologies, right?
Yes.
Because fuel cells are really inefficient.
They are horribly inefficient.
If you took an overall MPGE, which is miles per gallon equivalent for current fuel cell vehicles, you're looking at somewhere around 60 miles per gallon equivalent. This is more efficient, so it should get a higher number.
Yeah.
It's got 3 fuel tanks rather than just 2, which is what the previous generation fuel cell vehicle from Hyundai has. And we're looking at a total range, I believe, was 370 miles.
Around that
fill,
figure, yes.
With a 5-minute refuel time, which was very, very heavily emphasized. We also, obviously, this is a big vehicle. It's an SUV. I haven't looked inside. Maybe we should do that later. Yep. They have test-driven this. They have allowed journalists to test drive it. So it looks like it's a vehicle that is ready for production, or at least production intent, rather than never reach production concept car, right?
This is true, but they did only mention sales in California.
Right, which means it's another compliance car, right?
Yeah.
We have no idea of cost.
No.
We have no idea of cost to make.
No.
And Hyundai is kind of pushing this as a car that will have, be the ultimate clean vehicle.
Yes.
Really weird quote at one point. It's better than an EV because it cleans the air as you drive.
Which is a very strange concept.
But technically they are right, it is cleaning the air as you drive, because hydrogen fuel cell vehicles work by scooping up the air, separating the oxygen from the rest of the air, so all the nitrogen and everything else disappears. The oxygen is retained.
Yes.
In order to do that, they have to have a very sophisticated fuel filter system or air filter system.
I see where you're going with this, but would Tesla's biodefense sucky air in filter thing
Tesla
also
could probably say
claim
the same
that?
thing. I'm not saying that that's BS, but it was an interesting marketable thing, and it did make me feel, you know, when car companies go, it has a CD player.
Yeah.
I think the Lada used to be sold like that.
Really?
The Lada
It had a
Nivea
CD player?
had a CD player or a radio. It was one of the things on the list, and it could, you know. We don't have anything else to say about it, so it's got 4 doors.
Yay!
This thing cleans the air as you drive.
Yeah, I'm suspect. But there we go,
But the other problem I have with this vehicle is they're talking about clean way of producing hydrogen fuel.
Yes.
And at the moment, to make hydrogen fuel from water, electrolyzed water, takes an enormous amount of energy and an enormous amount of space. And most hydrogen today is still made by steam reforming natural gas,
Yes.
which produces an immense amount of carbon dioxide and other
other unpleasant, nasty chemicals
that go
yes.
into the air. So
I am still very suspect of pretty much all hydrogen technologies at the moment as a clean solution.
hydrogen aside though, would you buy this if it was a plug-in hybrid or an electric? Because it's a nice looking car.
It is.
I think that's a good looking car.
Yeah.
I mean, I was standing at the back with our camera guy. I like the look of that. I'd drive that. It reminds me a little bit of the Peugeot, I think it's the Peugeot 4008.
Yes.
That same kind of
see.
front end, that same kind of feel. Quite European car in its stylings. I think Europeans would buy it, so that's good.
I think so, yeah.
And just imagine what it would be like with a battery pack in there.
It would be really nice.
But one final thing, I keep saying one final thing. Fuel cell stack, output of 120 kilowatts. That's the maximum system output of the fuel cell stack. That car is not going to be light.
No. And judging by the last FC EV I drove, it's going to feel nice, but big.
It's also going to feel heavy.
Yes.
And 120 kilowatts output from the fuel stack means that you're either going to have quite a large battery on board to give you that extra push when you need it. Remember, we're not talking about motor size, we're talking about fuel cell stack size.
Yeah.
So there's going to have to be a battery to offer as a buffer.
As a buffer.
To give that boost energy when required.
Yeah.
And, you know, my Chevrolet Bolt EV produces more power than that.
Yes.
Your BMW i3
Also
produces more power.
More power.
At the wheels.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Anyway, we're going to have to go because we're off to the Kia press launch next, which is in 8 minutes upstairs.
Yeah.
So we need to mosey on up there. I think we're going to be talking about electric vehicles there. So let's go. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
So, Kate, that was the Kia press conference, and we actually came out a little bit early. If there was ever a word for underwhelming at CES, it would be Kia right now.
Yes.
I hate to say that because after the Hyundai, see, I'm still saying it right.
You are.
After the Hyundai press conference, I kind of felt pretty positive about Kia because they are sister companies.
Yeah, and they tend to do more with the BEV side. So
and Kia do more EV. So what did we hear?
Very little.
We heard that there's the Kia Niro EV Concept.
Yes, which they will be introducing as an EV later.
And we already knew that. I mean,
we
Kia
knew.
had said a long time ago,
yeah,
we're going to have the Kia Niro EV. It's always been the plan for the Niro to be a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, and an EV.
And now it is. Okay, next.
We were expecting a brand new EV. That's what we had been led to believe by the rumours, by the talking, that this is a car that we already knew about.
Yeah.
So no excitement there.
No.
Range, 238 miles per charge.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like there's another car on the market already with two. I own it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's funny, isn't it?
The Bolt
funny.
EV. And it kind of makes me wonder, that figure feels like it was going straight after Chevrolet. Now, sarcasm aside, if the Kia Niro EV is reasonably priced, and let's remember it's a bigger car than the Bolt.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a
first
solid
step.
offering. It's not.
It is a decent sized SUV,
Yeah,
crossover SUV.
but it is not what we were hoping would be here.
But hey, let's talk about the positives.
The positives.
115 miles in 30 minutes recharge, which means it's going to be using CCS,
Yes.
like the Bolt.
Yes.
It's nice and high and tall, riding position.
Like the Bolt.
But here's where it's different. It's going to be bigger. We know that Kia and Hyundai both know how to make really efficient cars.
Yes.
The Ioniq EV, while it's from the sister company, has really good range.
It does.
Really good efficiency.
Yes.
So I think we're probably looking at a 60 kilowatt hour battery pack, a larger vehicle but the same range.
Yeah.
So that triangle where it's weights range, battery capacity.
They are better at doing that.
So this actually might be a better buy than the Volt if it comes in at a decent price.
Did they mention a price?
They didn't mention a price.
No.
What else did we learn about?
Smart cities.
Smart cities, connected technologies.
Lots of kind of buzzwords floating around without a great deal of information about what they mean.
They were leveraging the synergies
Indeed.
of
connected,
the inherent connected
nature of all things.
Paradigm of, yes. It was one of those kind of press conferences. And I have to admit I was sitting at the back on Twitter.
Naughty, naughty.